Welcome to my tutorial on Firestorm for SL. Great place, great game, um, great way to have some excellent social interactions with people. This video is going to be set up for people who already have been through the game tutorial system. If you haven't, I suggest that you go ahead and download the SL viewer and walk through the tutorial and then come back here. But basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to download Firestorm. The best way to do that is just go to your local browser, type in Firestorm for Second Life, and so forth. But once you get to that, you'll have this page here. Okay, this is their main page, and you want to go down to Downloads. Depending on what operating system you're running, just go ahead and download that one. For here, we're running Windows. Okay, just click on it and just download it. Okay. I've already got it downloaded, so we're going to jump right into that. Okay, it's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to take a minute for it to download. Okay, and it may ask you at this point in time or before you log in about voice activation. Okay, and you want to make sure that you accept the SL voice system. Otherwise, your firewall system will block it. You'll be scratching your head, why don't I have voice? So, anyway, so make sure you accept the voice so that your firewall doesn't block it. So after you get it downloaded, excuse me, then, we'll just go ahead and close this down. After you got it downloaded, you're going to sign in, okay? And once you sign in, you're going to come into the sign-in page, okay? A lot of great information on here. One thing is you can look down here, currently at this point in time, at my time, which is SL time, it's 9:41. There's currently, what was it, approximately 43,000 people. Anyway, that's a lot of people. It gets up there though. But get some other information. You can play around and look at things. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go up to the upper left-hand corner and click on Viewer. Then you're going to click on Preferences. Okay. It's going to open up a window, and you're going to see a lot of things on the left-hand side, starting with General, ending with Firestorm. Okay. And we're going to make sure we click on General tab, and you're going to see this page here. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm going to point out is going to say I want access to content-related material. Okay. If it doesn't say General, Moderate, and Adult, and if you have not done the age verification through SL, go back and pause this video and at least go back into SL and .com and go ahead and do the age verification because you need to do that. Okay. But moving along here, as you look down there, you're going to see a bunch of check marks and some boxes starting with my name and ending with username. I think that's usually how it stops right there. But here's my preference. Now this is only by your preference, okay? I uncheck every one of these boxes. Reason being I uncheck these boxes is because it puts all these names and titles and group tags above people's heads. Well, by doing this, all I see is just their name. I mean, people have legacy names or their name that they're going by and so forth. Yeah, if you want to know them, click on their profile. Right-click on the avatar, open up their profile. Or just put your mouse on them, and that'll tell you their name and what group they belong to. At this point, we're not going to hit the word apply until I tell you to do so. Okay, because there's a few more things we want to do. Alright, going back to the left-hand side again. We're going to hit chat this time. Okay? The first part of it, top there, you'll see some words say small, medium, large, and huge. Well, if this is your preference that you want to have, I put both of them on large, which is your font size and your console font size. So that's your local chat and your private chat font size. I'm not quite blind yet, so I won't use huge. Okay? But that's where you want to change that. Okay. Now below that, there should be several boxes check marked. Now, like I said, once again, this is things of preference. Okay. But I have a question for you. In real life, when you're talking to somebody, are your hands moving like you're typewriting? think so. Some people like that, some people don't. But I have, as like I said, a preference. I take all typing animations off. So, you know, and basically what I do on this page is I only have 2 items checkmarked. You're going to see one item there that says email me IMs when I'm offline. That's grayed out. But once you sign in, that'll be checkmarked already. But the one right below it, remove chat headers. Go ahead and checkmark that. And everything else leave unchecked. Okay? Because as you get to learn Firestorm and as you get to learn Second Life better, you can come back there and change those things if you want. But like I said, this is of my preference, and you can go by this recommendation or not. But like I said, typing sounds and typing animations, you don't do that in real life, do you? All right. So moving back over to the left side, we see a thing called colors. Okay, let's go ahead and click on that. Look for one that's kind of far row on the far right. Second one down says Object IMs. Usually this is tan. Right now on mine it's kind of green because I've already changed it. But I recommend people to go ahead and change this into a bright color. Reason being is because when you're typing away or talking in local chat, okay, and all of a sudden you see these bright green letters, that means one thing. You're either getting something coming in, or an invite to a group, or an invite for a hug or something's being delivered to you. Basically, this makes it show up so you don't miss it and don't skip out on it and make a mistake. That's about the only thing. You can change the other colors on here for whatever you want for your preferences and things, and like that, it's great, but like I said, I do this one here, like, once again, out of preference, but so I don't miss anything coming in. Okay, moving along here. Now we're going to go to the tab back on the left, and we're going to go to the graphics. Now, excuse me, this is one of the most important pages, I feel. Currently, what you're going to see on this page is, you're going to see a render quality bar. It's got low, medium, and high, and ultra. Well, if this is your first time signing into Firestorm, it should be on high. So what we want to do here is we want to take that and bring it down to low. Okay, so probably have to hit the bars, somewhere. Sometimes it takes a good minute for it to move, but get it down to low. Now, once it's down to low, look straight down that page until you see the word advanced. So the button, go ahead and click on it. A lot of things just popped up, right? Good. All right. Let's go back down to that button that says advanced again. Okay. And go up to a little bit to the upper right of that. You're going to see a thing called terrain detail. It's probably set on low right now. You want to put it on high. What this does, it takes the grass around you from that green mushy look to it and gives it a little bit more finer detailing. Okay. Now let me stop right here for a second though. One of the things you got to remember, if you're running a desktop that has an internal video card that's not part of the motherboard, therefore you've got its own RAM running your video system, you really don't have to change too much on the graphics settings, because if you've got a video card that's running 1+ gig, you're going to have no problems, because that means that your video is dedicated to that video card. But if you don't, and you're running a system that has at least 2 gigs or lower, changing these things is very important. Okay, and for preferences, if you're running a computer system, either desktop or laptop, that has 4 gigs plus, you're still going to want to make some nice changes here. Okay, currently I'm on a laptop that has 6 gigs on it, and I make some changes in it to make my SL viewing nicer. Okay, so on that note there, okay, we're back to the render quality bar. Right below it, you're going to see a word that says draw distance. What is draw distance? Draw distance is how far you see in the game. Okay, your basic sims, regular sims, full sims, are 256 meters by 256 meters. Now, really, the best thing to do is not crank it all the way up, because that creates lag. So it's recommended to turn it up to 128. Your computer will like you a lot because you're not overworking it. All right, and let's turn it to 128. There we go. Good. And that makes a good distance to see. If you're in a place where you want to see further, great. Okay. And I'll talk about lands because there's 3 different types of land in SL that I found. Okay. But anyway, leave it at 128. Okay. Now let's go to the next line down. Max particle count. Well, what this is particles. Okay. Could be the particles, leaves falling out of a tree, or sparks coming off of a fire, or a little flower emitting pollen or something. Those things are particles. Okay. Right now where it's set at, leave it there, and you can crank that up, down, as you please, but learn the game a little bit better, because sometimes it creates a little bit of lag for the lower end computers and stuff. Now, pretty much everything else underneath it, right now, until you learn more about the game, leave those the way they are. Alright, now we're going to move over to the left of that page there, okay? And what you're going to be looking for is a thing called shaders. Okay, you're going to see a thing called transparent water. Put a check mark in it. Bump mapping and shiny. Put a check mark in it. Local lights. Put a check mark in this. What these things are going to do is, first, transparent water. Well, as it says, the water around anywhere that you're going to see is going to be transparent. You'll be able to see down on the bottom of it. A lot of times you get in some really beautiful sims, people are very creative, you'll see mermaid areas. Or you just see somebody who's got some nice plants, an ocean floor, fish down there. Great times. Okay. Bump mapping is shiny. Basically, it's a little bit of texture mapping. Okay. Little grain textures and so forth. It makes, for instance, like armor, some armor shiny and so forth. Or a dragon might have some dragon scales that are shiny and so forth. But that's what that is. Local lights, what they are. Going down the street, you might pass up a light, okay, with a beam of light coming down from it. That's what that is. Or somebody's got a house, they got a front porch light. It's just a local light that way. Now, let's talk about that last button on there, basic shaders. Okay. From my experience, basic shaders has been one of the biggest laggers for the normal user. Okay, like I said, if you've got a video card and you're running 1+ gig or something, then basic shaders is not going to stop you. Okay, but for people who don't have that luxury, okay, like most of us ordinary people, I don't want to say ordinary people, but just just don't have the high-end computer yet. Okay, keep basic shaders off because, like I said, it's one of the biggest lags. I hear a lot of stories from people that I help on a particle cloud, and I tell them first thing you do, go in there, take basic shaders off. Pop, there they go. Now they're risen in. Okay. So basic shaders you want to keep off. Okay. And what it does, it gives the water a nice shine to it, but it also changes some of the lighting effects and some of the texturing lighting on outfits and different things around the world of SL. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and keep it off. Okay. At this point, go ahead and look at the bottom, hit apply. All right. There. And we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to go to a thing called hardware settings. Okay. There you go. You found it. Good. All right. On hardware settings, okay. Once again, if you've got a faster computer, the first one can be checked, atmospheric filtering. If you don't, leave it unchecked. But the next one, now this one's kind of important. If your computer is under 2 gigs of RAM, leave this unchecked. It'll help you out a lot. Okay. Remember also, when you're putting your mouse on these words, these lines, it'll give a little black box describing what it is. Okay. But if you have a computer that has, above 2 gigs, all right, I'm running 6 gig on this laptop, we're going to go ahead and check mark it. Now the next one's grayed out, but once you get in game, it'll be check marked. Leave it. Okay. That's enable stream VBOS. go ahead and leave that one. Okay. Now, let's go back to the left-hand side again. Go down to Sound and Media. Okay. The thing about this one here is important. All right. No, you want to make sure that all those little speaker-looking button things, no, there's no red lines in between them. And then you'll see some boxes that say Play Sounds from Collisions and then ends with Enable. Make sure all 5 of those are checked. Okay. But here's the one I like about the best. The second line down from the top is called Buttons. I take that bar and I slide it to the left almost all the way to the end. Let me tell you what this is. You know, if you've been in a game already and you've got groups or you got friends talking to you and stuff, and all of a sudden you get this ding ding, an incoming IM, that thing's loud. It's very loud. This is how you turn it down. People thank me a million for this one because I don't like that thing. Okay, I like hearing my IMs, but when I'm talking to somebody in world, or if I'm typing and all of a sudden ding ding, okay, I get startled. All right, but anyway, so that's what that button does. The other ones, leave them right now for where they're at. You can play with those later. Okay. All right. Let's go up to the top of that page to Voice Settings. Okay. Now, first box, Enable Voice. Make sure it's checkmarked. Okay. Now, little, how would you say, story or a little bit of side training here. If you're using a desktop, okay, and you're using a stand-up microphone, and you're using your speakers, you're going to get some feedback. Okay. If you're using a headset, some headsets, with the little mic piece on it, give feedback also. So if you ever come across the fact where you're hearing a reverbing or an echo or just screeching loud noise, okay, you want to come to this page here, right? And you want to go down to the bottom and click Audio Device Settings. There's a slide bar. This is the input and output, and it's going to give your microphone sensitivity. So if you turn it down, your microphone won't be picking up the feedback from the speakers as much, whereas from the headphone, we'll still be able to hear you quite well, okay, because obviously the mic is right next to your lips. It's great. Or if it's on a desktop, it's a great thing. Now, most laptops have a built-in microphone, okay. My suggestion is this: use the built-in microphone and get a pair of earbuds, plug them in your ear. I use that, and I get no feedback, and I can hear everything perfectly well, okay? And I don't give feedback to other people too, okay? Because when usually that feedback can be really loud and screeching and annoying. All right, but make sure that you re-click Audio Device Setting buttons if you clicked it, because you got to close that. All right, good. And we're skipping over a lot of different buttons here. Those things, the extra buttons you see on pages and so forth, we're not going to mess with those right now. When you learn the system better, you can come back and play with them. This is just to get you going at the beginning of Firestorm. All right, moving to network and cache. Okay, this one's pretty important also. Okay, maximum bandwidth. From my experience, SL doesn't run over 1200. Okay, there's no use going over 1200. I usually set mine between 8 and 1000. Okay, and I got mine set at 8. All right, and that helps. Okay, now another button on here that you want to pay attention on this page is Clear Cache. It's over on the right-hand side, kind of sitting off by itself. Don't click it yet, because your cache is clear already. It's a brand new system. But since you're, if you're a brand new person to SL, you do not have a lot of inventory right now, okay, just hit this thing at least 3 times a week. Okay? It's like clearing the cookies off your computer. It helps your system run faster. I myself do it on a daily basis because I do a lot of building, and I think I'm up to about 42,000 items, and there's no copies in there. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff. Okay, and you will too eventually. Now, another thing. There's a bar here that's blank right now. Okay, it's called chat log location. Okay, and usually it'll have a directional area to your computer. You see next to it, grayed out, is the word that says open. When you click on that, that takes you to a place inside your computer. What this is any time that you have a private conversation in a private IM box, you're typewriting to each other, okay, text typing it, it's going to save it to your computer. Why does it do this? Well, one, if you forgot what you said to somebody, or if you want to reread what you said to somebody, or you need to say, hey, you said this, this is where it's going to be. But understand, okay, per TOS violations, and SL's rules, you cannot copy these conversations and give them to a third party. Okay, understand that. Now, if something happened and you're having a hard time with somebody and you need to go back in there and copy exactly what they said to do an AR report, which is a, turning somebody in, okay, well, then you can use it then. But you cannot post it in the forums, you cannot post it anywhere else but to SL to report something going wrong. Alright, so hopefully you never have to use that though. Alright, so we're going to go back to the left hand side again here. We're going to skip a couple and we're going to go down to privacy. Okay, now there's nothing on this first page that you really need to mess with. Okay, but there's up top there, you'll see a thing that says look at. Let's click on that. Okay, now you're going to see something called My Look At. There's only one box checked right now. Okay, what does this do? Well, I usually check all 4 boxes. Let me tell you why. Okay, what this does is we have crosshairs inside SL, so you know who's looking at you, and they know who you're looking at too. Well, basically, sometimes people say, "Why are you looking at my avatar?" Because you got a cool looking avatar. Okay, um, we're people. We like looking at people, but some people don't like you looking at them. Well, basically, then what this does, it doesn't show you to look at targets. It doesn't have little crosshairs on them, so they don't know you're looking at them. But you won't know who's looking at you. Okay, there is a trick around this, though. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so basically, no camera hints, no camera directions. All right, cool. Now, let's go back to the left-hand side again, and let's click on Advanced. Okay. Now, the first one says Allow multiple viewers. May reduce the stability and performance. Well, I would definitely uncheck that one. Okay. Unless your computer's really super fast, great desktop. They make some great gaming laptops out there also, by the way. But at any rate, let's go ahead and go down to the 2 bottom ones. Show Advanced menu, click on that, and Show Developer menu. Now, Advanced menu's got some options in it that you can use later, but you want to have it on so you can check it out. Just use it at your own risk because it does have some good things in it. Okay, the Developer menu, you definitely want to have that up because it has some other things, and we'll go over those. All right, now let's go back to the left-hand side and go all the way down to Firestorm. Okay, click. There we go. Now, let me give you a couple quick talks. I always tell everybody this, okay? If you're new to SL, very young to SL, there's a couple things you want to learn. One, be careful, guys. You can get avatars pregnant and have what we call prim babies, all right? Just be aware of that, okay? Show responsibility, and learn about the different body parts and so forth, because there's on duty and off duty, all right? And that's just a little tidbit of education there for you. Okay. Now let's look at the first line here. It says allow remote scripted viewer controls, RLVA. Well, what is that? Okay. Well, basically SL, okay, has a faction in it of BDSM, gore, and DOMs and submissives. Okay. And I always tell people this. Number one, always pay attention what people are giving you. Okay? Always pay attention, especially if something says they want to animate you. Because sometimes, and it's happened to me, being a new person, somebody's giving you a bunch of things, and next thing you know, you click on something you didn't want to click. So pay attention. I know it's exciting, but just slow down, okay? Because if somebody offers you a pair of bracelets or a necklace or a collar, okay, and they say, put this collar on, okay, and you ask what's it for. Well, it's a BDSM collar. You're going to be my submissive. Oh, cool, okay. But now understand, if they ask you to click on the RLV button, make sure you understand one thing, what you're doing, okay? Because when you put a collar on, you're going to give ownership to somebody, and they can make your avatar do things. They can, hugs, kisses, sit positions. They can remove clothing from you and so forth. Okay, but the RLV also does a couple other things. If you're in a gore sim or if you're in a BDSM sim, there's traps, and they can, they can automatically trap you. Okay, you want to be aware of that. Okay, because some of those traps out there are pretty funny, right? But it also gives them control of shutting you out of your inventory, shutting you out of your IMs, and a couple other things. So just always educate yourself. If somebody's going to give you a collar, read about it. Okay? Now, and because they'll teach you, because you're going to be the owner of the collar and you're giving permissions to somebody else. They could lock the collar so you can't do anything, right? It's a little trick there. But at any point in time, okay, I know I'm not going to go into the BDSM lifestyle because I have my own opinions about it, okay? But at any point in time, you want to take that collar off and that person won't remove the lock on it or take their ownership off of it, come back inside this spot here, unclick this button, relog, go back in game, and then you have control of the collar again. So like I said, educate yourself about this button. It's very important because a lot of people get their feelings hurt. All right. So moving along here. Okay. There's several buttons here clicked. Okay, but we're going to click some more. Okay. Going down that list, you're going to see disable teleport screens. Okay. These are things of preferences. Okay. You can click it or unclick it, and for me, I just leave it the way it is right now. Like I said, a thing of preference. And, but I do this. The logout process one says disable logout process screen. Go ahead and unclick it. So when you log out, poof, you're out. Okay? Doesn't take a long time because sometimes we're in a hurry. Come on, gotta go. But at any rate, that's what that does. And like I said, go through the other buttons, look at them. It's okay. Do this, do this, do this. It's a matter of preference. All right? Let's go back up to the top, though. And let's click on Avatar. Okay. Coming down that page, you're going to see a guy standing with particle beams coming out of his hand. Look, this isn't Star Trek, okay? Too bad, right? Oh, there are some Star Trek sims, though. But anyway, moving down there, you can see a box that's got a check mark in it. It's called Enable Selection Beam. Okay? Basically what this does is if you uncheck it, you don't have the particles coming out of your hand. Right? Makes you look less newbie. Now, we want to slip into SL kind of looking like we know what we're doing here, right? Good. Alright. Now to the right of that picture, you're going to see another picture with 3 little phoenixes on it. And a drop down window above it. Go ahead and turn that to off. Alright. Excellent. Now, at this point, let's go ahead and hit apply. And this time, let's hit OK. Alright. So now we're back at the sign-in screen. Ooh, look at that number. 43.8. Alright, go ahead and underneath your username, put your username, okay, and go ahead and put your password in. I like to click on remember password because I'm kind of lazy. So after a while you get so many passwords. Then let's go all the way to the right. It says start at. Go ahead and open that box up. you can see last location and home. If you have a home set, go ahead and click it and you'll go home. I've got a home, so I'm going to go to my house. Okay, and let's go ahead and sign in. You know, I really enjoyed Firestorm a lot because Second Life Viewer is pretty close to it, the buttons and so forth, but Firestorm gives me a little bit more options. One, options for building, other options for a couple other buttons and stuff, okay? And you'll see on my screen here, I've got a lot of buttons at the bottom. You won't have that many, okay? But, I love getting on SL. I've made some great friends. I've got some great social interactions going on with a lot of people. And it's just a really great place. Yes, we're going to meet the oddball here and there, or the griefer, or the guy who just won't leave you alone, or even the girl who just won't leave you alone. People always ask me, see, you separate SL from RL. I'm sorry. My opinion is this. Can you really hide your RL? You'd have to be a multiple personality person to keep yourself from being RL here. Now, when I say RL, your personality, your attitude, comes out in this game, no matter what. It all comes out. All right, I'm going to close the window down here. Okay, well, still loading. Open that back up. And we're going to go through the screen here in a minute, as soon as it loads up. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me close this chat window down. All right, that's closed. And now let's close this window. All right, now I'm going to spin myself around here. Oh, I'm looking kind of funny today. Let me put my AO on. There we go. Excellent. All right, kind of stuck in the ground there. I must have been playing with my dragons or something. But anyway, hello, this is Tyrath. Just ordinary SL kind of guy. Okay, waves at you guys. See? Anyway, let's continue on with our little training session here. Okay. Now, let's do this. Let's go back up to the upper right-hand corner. We're going to go from right to left this time. Okay. And you're going to see a little button that looks like a speaker. Okay. Sometimes when we get into SL, let me turn my sound off here real quick. Sometimes when we get into SL and you start using the voice, it's really loud and screechy. Or sometimes you see little green dots above people's heads, little lines, and they're talking, you can't hear them. Go ahead and mute that little button there. See, it's got the red symbol on it, and unmute it. That kind of reboots the system, especially when you hear that loud screeching sound. That's very annoying. Just real quick, mute it. Okay. The next thing we're not going to really go over that button is the camera. Okay, that turns on the local video or TV feed into a sim. Be honest, you can play with that later. Here's the next important one though, is the music note. If you want to hear the music on a sim, wherever you land, click it. If you happen to land and the music's playing and you want to turn it off, then just click it again because it has a little pause button. Okay. When you click on it, it's going to ask you allow or deny. Okay. And you're going to allow it, and then you can always hit now or always and so forth. Right? That's your choice. All right, let me click that again. Now, next thing over from right of that, moving along here, is the time clock. Okay, the time is on SL time, which is based in California. So sometimes when you're reading people's profile, they'll say SL plus 3. Well, currently we're in daylight savings, so that means they're on the East Coast, right? Because it's 3 hours East Coast from California. That kind of gives you an idea. Sometimes when it says +8, they're somewhere in Europe. Okay. Anyway, moving along there, you can buy lindens, and then you have your L's with the $sign. That's how many lindens you got. Okay. One of the things that's not on my screen because I took it off, let me put it back on here, is you'll have a navigation bar. Okay. You can leave the navigation bar up, or you can click on this little blank spot here, okay, and unclick it. All right. I like seeing a lot of things in that cell. All right, continuing over, going towards your left, you have your land, what it's called, okay, and what it's setting in. I named my place Home Sweet Home. Little video Home Sweet Home here. Okay. Uh, we're not going to go into any detail if you click on it because it'll bring up about land. That's for more of the builders and more for people who've got land and stuff. You can learn about that later. But let's go over and go to the word develop. Click on that. Go ahead and scroll down till you get to avatar. Okay. And then scroll over and scroll down to show look at. What that does is puts crosshairs out. You can see what people are looking at now. They still can't see what you're looking at though. Okay. But basically, this gives you who's looking at who. But plus, sometimes if you got somebody who's pointing at something, you can see what they're pointing at. Say, hey, I'm looking at these cats over here. All right. So let's go back up to the top again. Click the ground once. See the grass? Okay. See, it looks nice. A little bit more detail, and the trees looking really good detail. And like I said, I'm running a laptop that has 6 gigs on it. Okay. But even with my 4 gig, when I had 4 gigs on this laptop, this stuff still looked just like this. All right. So anyway, let's go back up to the top again. And let's go all to the word help. Each one of these buttons you can play with. But, the one I want to report out here is report abuse. Okay. If somebody's harassing you, can make a file or abuse report. Okay. And so forth. Okay. There's a couple other buttons you can play with. The Firestorm wiki is really good to go through. Okay. But let's go all the way over the world. Okay. On this one here, the ones I want to point out is landmark this place or set home to here. Okay. So if you got a home place, set it. Otherwise, if you go to a store and you want to landmark it, landmark it. Okay. But the other one on here that I will point out is sun position. Okay. What this does, it changes to sunrise, midday, sunset, midnight. Okay. So, whoop, here goes midnight. So it's like you get onto the sim and it's really super dark. You want to see it? Go down to sun position. Go to midday. Bingo. Lights are on. Okay. Moving to the left again, you're going to see a button that says COMM, short for communications. Okay. If you've already been in SL for a while and you've been joining groups and stuff, okay, or, what happens? You get these annoying group notices. I mean, they're not annoying, but you get all these group notices or these group chats and stuff, and they could be interrupting you. I bet you want to know how to get rid of those. Well, you could leave the groups, but what if you don't want to leave the groups? What if the group means you get a discount from the store or something, or you just want to be part of the group? Okay. If you want to stop the notices and stop, the incoming parts of those chats and stuff, scroll down to groups. Click on it, okay, and it's going to bring up your groups. All right, so let's just pick one. All right, we're going to go like this one. We're going to go. You put your mouse on one, and it's going to highlight it in orangish color. You're going to see an orange little square, or the circle, and then you're going to see a white square. Click on the white square for a minute. Okay. It's going to open up another window. It's going to be your group profile. Okay. So then we want to go down on the left-hand side of that. All right. And we're going to see down here it says receive group notices and receive group instant messages. If you want those not to receive them, just unclick them. Okay. That way you're not getting bothered by those all the time, because sometimes you get into these places and you get a lot of group notices, especially from the clubs and stuff. Okay, I don't want to leave this club that I've got showing here. I like this. Great place to go hang out, y'all. I mean, if you like this kind of music, time to go out there. Anyway, I don't get into that. Just rambling on here. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and close. Excuse me. All right. Put that down. Okay. Now, that's how you turn those annoying notices off. Excuse me for that, y'all. Okay. And there's a bunch of other things on here. Contacts, friends, nearby voices, and all that kind of stuff. Now, There's also one thing you need to really pay attention to here. Okay, let me make sure I find it. Yes, let's go back to world real quick. This is another question that people ask me a lot of times. They call me up, or they say, Tyrath, I clicked on the de-render button and I de-rendered my friend. I can't see them. Well, on the old viewers, you're able to log out and log back in, poof, there they were. But on Firestorm, they're not. You can't do that. So you have to go to World, scroll all the way down to the bottom. It says Asset Blacklist. Okay, you click on that, and whatever you de-rendered is going to be on there. So if it was your friend's going to be in that list. Just go ahead and click that list, click on their name, and bring them back. Okay. Now, it happens all the time. People be playing with buttons and say, what's this de-render button do? Ooh. Well, what the de-render button does, it de-renders an item from your view. So, for instance, if you're looking at me and you de-rendered my hair, you won't see my hair, but I still will see my hair. So, take it from what it is. Okay? Alright, let's go back up to the top here again. Let's go all the way over to the left to Avatar. Okay? And there's a bunch of buttons here. You can play with those buttons there and so forth. Now, if you do not have a mouse, okay, you're going to want to use the move controls, okay, and the camera controls. Those buttons there will help move you around for movement and so forth, or moving your camera around. My suggestion is this: if you have a laptop, if you have a desktop, you already got a mouse. But if you have a laptop, get a mouse. It's going to make it really super nice to have a mouse. Okay? But moving along the line here, let's go down to Avatar Health. Okay? Let's say one of those times your avatar won't stop running or won't stop dancing, and you tried everything to get him to stop dancing. Go down to Avatar Health, slide over, and click on Stop Avatar Animations. Okay? That'll stop everything for you. Now, another thing is on this page here too. Say like, for whatever reason, you've changed in your outfits, you're working on your clothing and stuff, and you can't get something right. You know, you can't get this item off you for whatever reason. Well, there's glitches in SL sometimes. Okay? Everything's not perfect. So what we do is we can go to reset male avatar or reset the female avatar to the default settings. What that does, it removes every single thing from you and puts you back at the very basic. Takes your AOs off, takes your hair, takes your clothing off, puts you back into a newbie outfit. And then you just reload your clothes. Go back into your closet button, put it on. Okay? Alright. Still moving along here. Okay? Now, looking at the left side of your screen, you should see a little bitty one button by itself. Go ahead, left click and hold and drag it to the bottom here. And it's this button right here. It looks like a fat little magnifying glass. Now, let's talk about these buttons down here. First thing I want you to do is, now this is a thing of preference, is there's a button down there that says AO. I want you to right click on it and then hit remove this button. Okay? Then click the ground. That is a built-in AO system for Firestorm. If you want to use that, go ahead and go to the Firestorm wiki and read about and how to set it up. Okay? I tell everybody to remove it because sometimes people click on it and it does things to their avatars. Okay? If they do not know what they're doing. Alright? As you see along on my screen here, I've got lots of buttons. I'll do a lot of things. Okay? But let's look for a button first of all. It looks like the microphone. Okay? And I'm going to push to talk, and you can see on the picture here, get some green things above my head. That means my microphone's working. Unclick it, it's on. Well, next to that is a little bitty tiny box. So if I check it, then click the microphone, boom, my voice is locked. Unchecking it, voice is unlocked. Okay, really simple. Now, your buttons are not going to be set up the way mine are. Okay, But let's look for a button that looks like a little shirt. Okay, I call this my favorite button because I'm a closet whore. That's bad, no? You know, we all have our addictions, and I like clothes. What this is, though, is your closet. Okay, and when you put an outfit on, like the outfit I have on now, you can name it, and it goes in your closet. Okay, for instance, this one is named, I think, I called it black see-through shirt. Yep, here it is right here. Black see-through shirt. Okay. Well, you name it whatever you want to name it. Okay. And you go down to the bottom here, you can hit save as, or there's a little box next to it. And you click on it, it says save and save as. The save is grayed out right now. Okay. But save as, okay, click on that. Go ahead for whatever outfit you have on now. And name the outfit whatever. I mean, whatever you want to name it. Okay. Then go ahead and hit OK. Alright. And what it's going to do is everything that you currently have on AO, clothes, HUDs, anything else, is going to get saved. Okay. Now, what it's going to look like is you're going to have all these things on you. Okay. And this tells you what you're wearing. All of this right here, what you're wearing. Okay. So now, say like I want to add a jacket to this. Okay. Well, go ahead and put the jacket on. Come into your closet. Open up the outfit's name. Okay. Come down to that little box. Click on it and hit save. That'll add it to it. Now, if there's something on there that you wanted to take off, same thing. Remove it and still come down here and hit save. Okay. That way, you know, you can fix your outfits that way. Okay. I like to do it because it makes it really super handy. If I remember right, on Phoenix and some of the other viewers, you had to go inside your inventory, take the outfit off, hunt for the pieces, and put the pieces together. Or you had to make a folder that had all the pieces in it, and open up the folder and just add it. This makes it 100% faster and easier. Guaranteed. Okay. Let's go ahead and close that one down. Alright. Now let's go back to the bottom again and look for one that looks like a suitcase. It's called your inventory. Let's go ahead and open it up. Alright. Now, we've got the search bar. You type in what you want, but let me close this down for a minute. Okay. Usually it's going to look like this. Okay. You got inventory and library. I say library because, I'll be honest, there's nothing really in there I want to use. I think I opened it up once and used some gestures and it didn't coincide with my avatar as well. So I just kind of stay out of the inventory, of the library part. Now, going into the library, going into the inventory, let's open it up. Alright, you're going to see a bunch of folders that have pictures on them. Okay. Now, from what I know, these folders are what's called the original protected folders from Linden Labs. I like to do this. I like to stay organized. Okay, so what I do is I go into like clothing, for instance, right click on it, and I can make a new folder. Okay, let me open it up. Okay, I've got all kinds of folders in here. You know, for AOs, for armor, for horses. You know, just a bunch of different things. Bling bling. You got to have bling bling in SL, man. You know. But anyway. Full outfits and so forth. Get yourself organized. I got one for hair, body parts, blah, 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 boots and shoes, anyway, etc. Make yourself organized, okay? That way, you're staying organized, okay? Now, one of the things you can also do is, looking down in that same inventory, okay, you're going to see another button that looks like another suitcase. Go ahead and click on it. Might double click it. Come on. There we go. Alright, it brings up another inventory, exactly the same thing. What you can do is if you're organizing your inventory, you can drag items from one to the other. So if you had something in your clothing and you want to put it down in a different category, open it up, left click and drag it over, just like you do in your computer. Okay? Now, from my experience, okay, when you're shopping on the marketplace or you're in-world shopping, things go to one of two places, okay? They either go in your objects folder or your received items folder, okay? So when you're looking for stuff, make sure you look in those, or if you remember the name, just type it in, okay? But that's where a lot of things go. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff in received. I need to clean that up. But at any rate, so we're going to close these two windows down, okay? Now my suggestion is about the buttons down at the bottom. Those are the two main buttons, well, the main three buttons, you know. There's a whole bunch more down here. Just kind of play with them, see what they do, and so forth. All right. And if you, like I said, right-click on it, on any button, and you can bring up the toolbar buttons, and it opens up the window for all these buttons. These are all the buttons you can access. Just play with them, see what they do, and so forth. You know, it's a thing of preference. All right. So pretty much, you know, that's some of the basic things of SL through Firestorm. This is going to get you going at least, all right, and it's going to get you moving a little bit better. Main thing is going to stop the lag. That's the biggest thing that you'll come across. So at any rate, I appreciate you mumbling through this with me, okay, and hoping that you've learned something. I'm really hoping that this helps you understand Firestorm better and helps you enjoy SL a lot better. But for now, like I said, once again, thank you very much for listening to my video, and feel free to cut this link out and save it for your friends. So if you've got people, hey, I want to learn Firestorm, just tell them, hey, I heard this video once. This dude walked me through it. Here, check it out, okay? But anyway, play it forward, okay? And everybody have a great time, okay? Once again, thank you very much, and bye-bye.